Ready? There we go.
All right, this is the spot. So we'll get started.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody here to our regular September meeting. This time we need to amend and/or accept tonight's agenda. Does anybody have any amendments?
Make a motion to accept the agenda presented.
Support.
All right, we have a motion of support to accept the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. This time is time for public comment, which is limited to 2 minutes per person. I don't think we're going to have any tonight, so we will move on to our routine matters. First of all, we need to approve our minutes from our August meeting.
Motion?
All right, we have a motion. Support. Motion support for our August minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There. Consider general fund invoices for payment. Matt?
I would like to make a motion to pay on the general fund, check 77773 through 77917 for a total of $308,096.79. And from food services, check 77776 through 77890, $40,590.04.
Support. All right, we have motion support for our invoices. Do we have any questions on any of these for Scott or Liz? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Reports and communications. Myself, just want to comment on a good day Saturday with the turnout. It's nice to see. It's a little cooler than what we expected weather-wise, but all in all, it's a good day. Other than that, that's all I got. Superintendent?
Yes. Yeah, Saturday was a really good day, considering the weather. Estimated we had about 200 people there, based on the hot dogs that we gave away and shirts that we were giving away. Always a good indicator of how many people were present. But it was good. It was good to see people on track. It was nice seeing the field mode. We've been putting some of that off to keep the track clean, and we had a good turnout at the football game. So overall, the projects are complete that we started this summer. I'm still working on an HVAC system in the high school. It's really quite loud in a couple of the offices. I think they just need to relieve some of the pressure. It's built, the HVAC system was built to expand to another room for a conference room. So they thought they were going to be here by the end of the week last week, but I don't know if they were. I know there were some guys here Saturday working too. So still finishing that stuff up. I can say Gerber Construction has been really good to work with. Reaching out to them, they respond right away, and they do come right away. So we'll get that sorted out. But did put together a little bit of a, we'll see if I can get this to work. I did earlier, so didn't do a good job of documenting offices or the weight room, but just kind of some little steps in the process of projects there. It's all the drains. Ken remembers that day as he had a dust that football team putting on the fence guard. That's how they put the rubber on.
I was amazed how manual the process was.
Yeah.
There was a lot of manual labor.
Spraying the lines there.
He did that all by himself, didn't he?
Him and his wife, yeah. But he was here most of the time by himself. There's the wood for the floor. One of the first classes on the floor. The advertisements on the signs. Here's the extra additional space there in the weight room. High school office. I did have to tell Becky to at least pretend like she's working. Yeah, just a little.
Nice.
I want to say a big thank you to Kelly Becken for all of his hours and his work. I tell you, we would not have the product that we have if it wasn't for him. Just really appreciate all that he did as an advocate for the district. It was really, really good. So as we start finalizing our final expenditures for the projects, I'm hoping in the next week or two we'll kind of have that wrapped up, as they typically bill monthly. We'll be able to kind of see where we're at. I can tell you, I do believe that we did come in under budget for the track, a little bit under the budget for the gym floor, as well as the offices. We'll start planning for projects for next year. Already started working on the kind of list for that. Things that we need to accomplish. I'll be reaching out to the principals and directors of needs for the building and some wants. But excited about that. Excited about the product that we have for the kids. I learned a lot. So Liz and I will just kind of start talking about budget for next year, some amendment stuff for next year. We were able to kind of shift some things and do some different things. In a legislative meeting today, we talked about supplemental budget. Doesn't really sound like that might happen. Doesn't look like they're gonna give us any more. So, but we will have that. Our audit will be presented next board meeting. Our audit findings, everything came back. I have not had my meeting with them yet, but from the reports, everything came back really good. So, big thanks to the business office for their work on that. And other than that, good start to the school year, very smooth start. Numbers are starting to level off now with withdrawals and enrollments, but it's been a smooth opening. So, any questions?
right, our business managers.
Hello, everyone. I really do not have a whole lot. It's really nice to see the pictures of the projects. We see all the invoices crossing over our desk and write checks and do all that, so it's neat to see that, all come together. So thanks for sharing that. Yeah, like Scott said, the auditors, Scott Hunter will be here next month and to present all of that. And yeah, I was just going to mention the same, we're still just waiting to see what the state is going to do with some of the unknowns as far as the budget and if we will get any kind of supplemental to get a per pupil increase and get some of our 31AA funds back. We had a 31AA webinar today, and I think probably a lot of us on the call were like, okay, yeah, like we couldn't afford to do any of that now with $17.60 per student that you're going to give us. But yeah, so hopefully it's just really hard with it being an election year, and they have what do they say today? Scott, one work day planned between now and the end of October, and it's September 25th. So if something is going to happen as far as a supplemental or like a permanent reduction in the retirement rate or whatever, it will have to happen that day. So we're just kind of wait and see. And I had, did a little projection for Scott for, this year with amendments and changes and stuff. But also just looking ahead, but right now it's just kind of hard to look ahead and predict until we kind of know what direction they're going to go with some of that. And one of my thoughts is, if we do get if they're in lame duck session or something, we do get some kind of supplemental. Is it going to be a one-time, you have to spend it this way, or this is, we don't want to add it to the foundation so that we don't have to increase it next year. Just,
So Liz, when we budgeted 24-25, we used the governor's recommendation, right?
Yes.
Which included an increase.
Yes.
Okay. Which is not going to happen now.
And we budgeted 31 AA funds at the full amount they were giving us, which was 240, because none of us anticipated that was coming at all. So, but we are getting some additional monies from the ISD this year because of their special ed fund balance, and so that'll be a one-time help this year. And
can I ask a question on these summaries that you put in here for the bond issue and the sinking fund? So when we put those back in the winter, when we were putting together all different kinds of scenarios because the bids were coming in high and blah, 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 we looked at several different sources of revenue. We looked at potentially using some capital project funds. We potentially said we could use some of the next year's sinking funds. So what we see here is only taking into consideration the actual cash we receive from the bond or the sinking fund, right?
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So it remains to be seen yet whether we need to use those.
Until we have the final.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
We're getting close on that. I've kind of been monitoring with some chicken scratches of my own, but
Because we had a whole bunch of possibilities.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, any more questions for business managers? All right, thank you. Principals? David?
So just, it's been a good start to the year. We're doing LWA right now, so we continue all of that beginning of year data. Beyond what I shared in my board report, just to highlight a couple of things publicly, our fourth graders are going to do swimming at the Y again. That's going to start in a couple of weeks, so we're excited to do that program again. We've got that all set up, ready to go. We're doing Rambler Dads again this year, so we have that, the kickoff will be September 23rd for that. We're going to be getting paperwork back from dads already, so we're excited to do that program again. for our kids. And then we have our first school-wide event happening September 27th, Fun to Be Fit up at the track. We're excited that it's done because I didn't want to have to reschedule that. That'll be that'll happen in the afternoon, the 27th. We'll invite the press to come in. Looking forward to that. So, well into the swing of things in the elementary. It's gone very well. All our new people are settled and doing well, asking good questions and figuring out how things work, and very pleased with how they're doing. It's been good.
Very good.
I think the swim program's a great deal. That's great. Now, do we pay for that in swimming? Or
Yes.
There's a charge?
Initially, it was free. We had a grant for the first 2 years, and then we had a commit.
That's a good
after
program,
that,
though.
Yeah. Well, I think it's well worth it for what they learned.
All right, thanks, David. Middle school.
All right, it's been a great start to the school year. Really pushing PBIS, keeping that freshman kids reviewing the expectations, and it is definitely paying off. We are, I think by the end of next week, going to have our first grade level rewards. Kids filling their buckets, catching, doing the right thing, and reviewing the expectations as we go through. So we're excited about that. A little quicker turnaround than last year, so they're quite motivated and getting it going. So it's fun to see. Then our weekly prize drawings that we have. The additional math support this year, having 3 math teachers, and we're excited to see how the results are going to come in on that. A couple of changes we made with, instead of splitting 4th hour to do the second round of lunch, our cafeteria ladies are phenomenal and are pushing a lot of kids through the high rate of speed, and having not split a class, we're already seeing some initial results with teachers like, I can't believe we're getting through so much material. So I think the changes that we have there, we're anticipating to see a big jump in our math scores this year. That's one of the things we've really been focused on. So we're hoping the little steps we're taking will have big payoffs for us.
Thank you. Any questions? High school.
We also had a wonderful start to the year. The teachers were awesome about reviewing PBIS in the classroom, and then we went around and did our rotations, and they did a really nice job of that. Mr. Fouch stepped in and helped review, and I think that was very good. And then I got to have class meetings with every grade level, and that was also a wonderful experience to get to talk to the kids in their own grade level about each of the things that happened this year for them, how unique it is in high school. That was really neat. So we've had a good start. Wanted to just bring up a couple of things for NHS and thank Mr. Murphy for all that he does. Our National Honor Society induction was last week, Wednesday. That was great. 23 new members, great group of kids. That was really fun. And then the blood drive that I think is set in the...
To be determined. It'll be down in the lobby area, gym area.
Okay.
We're just not sure which gym
So if
yet.
you'd like to come, it will be down there. But yeah, so they're set to do that and hoping to break a new record. So kind of want to veer off. I'm still in overseeing our ELL program district-wide. So I just wanted to share some numbers with you. We have 85 ELL students enrolled this year, K-12. In 1920, the school year 1920, we had 55. So we've gained 30 students. They're identified as ELLs. We had 2 more students exit. We just got our WIDA scores back that they take in February. So 2 more students exited, so we've had double-digit numbers over the years exit out of the program. So that means they've met enough growth in speaking, reading, writing, and listening in English to pass that test.
Could you just kind of explain what the WIDA is? And I mean, you kind of just did, but just a little more of why you have to administer it or who you administer it to.
It's a state requirement for any student identified as ELL. We have a window of time in February. They have to take it. It's computerized, other than the writing portion can still be paper, but the students get on and they have to take it in sections, because how you do is how you will finish up. And then if they can get a 4.8, they pass. So they listen in English, they read, and then they actually have to speak into a microphone in English, and that gets scored, and then they finish up with writing. So it's quite a process. It takes us 6 weeks to test all of the students.
And they have to take a test every year until they test out.
Yes, yes.
So starting in kindergarten?
Starting in kindergarten.
Okay.
Yep. And so I have new students come in, and if they're new to our district, we have to give them a screener, qualify them as ELL, that's where my number comes from. And then they get their services, and then in February we test. And then of course we get the results in the summer, and then we start fresh again. And so now that we have the results, I shared with the principals, there are levels. So level 1 is a student who speaks very little English, and so then does not comprehend English, all the way up to a 6. So I put the students' names in by level, so they know which ELL students need more support in the classrooms.
So level 1, they would be newcomers, is what they're called from the state, is the newcomers.
Because we're getting so many now that come directly from their country here with no English. So,
How many, just interesting, how many languages are we dealing with? Much more than just Spanish, I'm assuming.
yeah, not really. We do have our 2 Ukrainian students who've been here 3 years now, David?
Big close.
This is year 3.
Yeah, but it's all Spanish. I will say there are different dialects, because we do represent probably 12 countries. Guatemala and the Dominican and Mexico and Colombia, they all speak a different dialect. So that can be a little different too. So, yeah. So I wanted to share with you though, I finally got all my information back. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do we have any information on, like, schools our size statewide? I mean, we're probably the top 5% numbers wise, I'm assuming.
I know we are around here.
Right.
The closest, because we've asked at the state level, who could you send us to that could compare? Because I don't want to go to Traverse City because their resources are different. So Shelby and Hart would be 2 of the closest that I've ever heard of that are similar in size with a big population. That's all I know of in, I don't know, I guess I would say northern Michigan.
Just for contact.
Yes.
We do get reached out to, like I know Mrs. Rodenbaum's showing her going to another local school district in our area. We're just now starting to see some English learners coming and just for help and just bounce things off of.
I'm purely for mine, so if I call representative or lawmaker, I got some background. I mean, I think that's the only way we're gonna.
It's a lot.
And that's not gonna do
Our
it.
representative did come in last year and met with some of our students and our teachers. And I think we get additional $3,000 total for help with instruction. Now we get per pupil, but that's a above and beyond.
3,000 total for all 85.
Becky, can anyone help
That's generous.
proctor that? Did you call it a RETA?
WETA.
WETA. Got it.
Yep.
Can anyone proctor that? Like, is that something that you could take volunteers from the community?
No, you have to be trained.
You have to be, okay. I didn't know if it was something
How long is
we
the
could maybe take a day and do
Yeah.
or help with
Yeah.
or.
How long is the training?
Well, for somebody who was new, I mean, you know, a couple hours per section. You have to learn how to do it, and because there's a protocol to it, it's just the M
It's,
step.
yeah, okay.
You have to, testing security.
Yep, absolutely.
It used to be in those districts, as you mentioned, the Shelby Hart district, that a lot of their kids used to leave in the wintertime.
Yes.
So they would start out full, and then they would have a mass exodus when it turned
Yeah.
cold. I don't know if that's still true or not, but
I don't know.
There's probably more year-round now than there
I
used to
think
be.
so, yeah. I think they still have more migrants than we do.
Yeah.
And we always get asked if ours are migrant, and we're like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
they're not, they stay.
But they used to use a lot, they lost a lot.
Yeah. I think the majority.
All right, that's interesting information. Thank you, Sherry. Any more questions for the principals? Not? We're gonna move on to committee reports. I don't believe we had any committees that met here in the last month. Anything from MASB, Ken?
Very minimal. We had a sad weekend. Kathleen Moore, who's our past president, and then June 30 died this weekend. So I don't know the arrangements yet, but I might be traveling down for that funeral. She was from, I think it's Central Lake, somewhere south of Jackson. So other than that, not a lot going on. I'm not on the legislative committee anymore. My term is done there, so I'm on a new committee that only meets once a year, so my travels will be much less.
Is that a relief or a disappointment?
It's okay.
Yeah.
I love the other one. I would have stayed on the other one,
Yeah,
but
I know you like the
you just have a one-year term, and then you have to be on every committee. And so we have a board of directors meeting coming up in 2 weeks, and then the annual leadership conference in October. In Lansing, I'd like to encourage anybody who could possibly take in that, or any part of it would be a good thing. So the legislative thing is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of dead right now, not a lot going on, and so just kind of wait and see on a lot of things right now. Not a lot going on.
All right. Moving on to our one discussion item, 31AA, mental health. We are still practicing what we're supposed to practice.
Yes, if anyone has any ideas on our student mental health monies that we could use or spend, please let me know. Welcome that. Remember, it was cut drastically. But no, any input would be good.
All right, moving on to our action items. An auditorium event for Sunday, September 22 at 2 p.m. for the, how do you say that again?
No, go ahead, try it.
Susical?
Yeah,
Basically, it's the frontliners, right?
The footlighters.
I make the motion.
Supported.
Motion support for the footlighters on Sunday. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. B is another auditorium event on a Sunday, October 20, 6 p.m. for United, which would be our area youth groups, I believe.
So moved.
Support.
Motion support for the Sunday event on October 20. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? C, Sierra Winkle resignation for repair pro position.
Motion. Support.
Motion support for Sierra's resignation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? D, Kelly Jessica, hire recommendation for 7th grade volleyball coach.
Motion.
Support. Motion support for Kelly. Discussion, questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go up to Kelly. E, Danielle Lutz, hire recommendation, JV girls basketball coach.
So moved.
She's not staff, is she?
No.
Okay.
She's been with the program for the last year, 2 years.
Okay.
Support.
We have a motion and support for Danielle. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, F, Adam Corliss, hire recommendation of varsity wrestling coach.
So moved. Support.
Motion and support for Adam. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? G, Seth Duncan, hire recommendation, middle school wrestling coach.
Motion. Support.
Motion and support for Seth.
I'm just kind of curious on the wrestling, is there a JV level too, or is it just?
They would all be lumped under high school.
Oh, okay. So are they in a regular competitive routine now with the schedule?
Well, when their season starts, yes.
And when is that?
The fall. It'd be after football.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not really sure that when it starts, November-ish probably, early December.
Okay.
So, it'd be similar to what they already were doing as a club. It just opens up some different opportunities for them. And then the two coaches, that Adam and Seth, have been with it since they started as a club. So.
Okay, I think we have a motion and we have support for Seth. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations to all those. H, MASB delegate nomination for the MASB conference.
This is the MASB annual conference delegate assembly, which is on Thursday night. It's when the membership meets together and each school district has a representative. And so I'd like to be that representative at the October conference.
Okay.
Motion.
Support. We have motion support for Ken to be our representative at the MASB conference. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, Ken. Next is all our action items. Public comments. Don't think we're gonna have any. Anything from the board? Questions, comments?
There's one thing, maybe we do it already, but like first or second year coaches, does it make sense to give them an evaluation a quarter way through the season, a third way through the season, just so at the end?
Yeah, definitely should be touching base with them. Absolutely. I'll touch base with Sean about that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that idea. I think that's a
For
great,
sure.
just a way to formally touch base and had a few rocky coaching experiences.
We do that with new staff, with mid-year reviews. So.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
All right.
Support.
Motion is lots of support.
Lots of support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. 6:33.